Okay, my yarn Mindful by project part 2, part 1 I filmed this morning. It was already too long. And it's all going to be about how I manage my patterns and my cravings to buy patterns. There are constructions everywhere. On my left, there is a new apartment complex that is being built, and they are digging in the ground, I guess, to make some parking spots or stuff like that. On my right, my neighbor, one of my neighbors, is having some kind of either yard work or construction work. So I hope the microphone won't pick up any of that. And if it does, I really apologize. So welcome everyone to my very small place on the internet where I talk about my knitting life, my knitting projects. My name is Isabelle, I am in Normandy. In a Normandy that was quite beautiful this morning. That is a bit colder this afternoon, and just after that I'm going to be talking about what I'm wearing, and I'm so proud of it. And today it's going to be the second part of my video about my report. I try to do monthly reports on my Mindful by project. I haven't done a report in a long time other than last week, which I filmed this morning. Because I was out, I went to the hospital for a month. I won't do any life updates, as I did say everything I had to say this morning about my second hip replacement. I am at the 6th week. So there is nothing new from last video because I did film all of that a couple hours ago. So I'm going to be finishing this report today or this afternoon and next week for you about the way I manage my patterns and why I do the way I do. So if you are not interested into that, this is not going to be the 10 best patterns for fall, for winter, for that phase of the moon, and for the wind that is going to come. No, not at all. I don't like these videos, and because, one, you can, or I think I can search for patterns on my own, search Ravelry and etc. But when people talk about their choices of patterns, which one they are buying, why they are buying these patterns, which yarn they are associating, what prompted them to buy them and everything, I am much more into that. I think, and if you allow me a very unpopular opinion, because these videos are very, very, very popular, the 10 best patterns for the newborn in your surroundings, for Christmas, for whatever, I think these are very lazy videos because everybody is able to look for patterns, and there is no real feedback other than I saw that, I think it can be on trend. Okay, and here you have it. There is no much than that, and I'm not happy with these videos. So this is not what it's going to be about. But if something, or if a video about many patterns that I've collected and why, and which ones I'm going to weed out from my bundles, because I haven't done this since the beginning of the year, so my bundles have overgrown, and I may not film the whole process because it's going to be tedious and boring, and I will show how my bundles are right now before I touch any of them, why they are here and what were my intentions, and maybe walk you through a couple things I want to declutter or keep, and most probably show how the bundles have evolved until the end of this process because it helps me buy patterns only when I want to cast on. So if this is of any interest to you, please stay tuned. And if this is not, I do understand. We will see each other next time. And first things first, what am I wearing? I'm just going to link it down below. I am wearing my Madeleine sweater. It's the same sweater I was wearing this morning, and I talked about it, and I'm not sure I want or you want to hear about it a second time around. I am wearing my beautiful, may I say so, my beautiful Rebel cardigan, Rebel by Anke Strict, that I knit during the months of between April and June 2025. So this year, I knit it with a strand of Nutiden, and the colorway is IRR, I'm not sure, LR Dusty Rapid. I will link the name down below because I'm not sure I do pronounce that correctly. That I held double with a strand of Holzgarn Titicaca in Camellia. I absolutely adore, may I say that, this cardigan. I love the construction. I'm not going to stand. I don't feel comfortable in my body right now. So I will show it to you at some other day when I'm standing up. So you start with the back, one side, the other side, you pick up on the other side. Then you shape the beginning of the shoulders and the beginning of the fronts with short rows. Then you start knitting the front and the sleeves. Then you separate for the sleeves, and then you knit back and forth for the front and the back. The front are knit with simple ribbing. The back and the sleeves are in plain stockinette. I absolutely adore this color. It's kind of a reddish raspberry. Camellia adds a bit of a pinkish hue, a lighter hue, and I love it. But I'm sure I won't be able to say enough. The Nutiden was a present by one of the lovely yous. I still have another batch of red Nutiden in Amanita to make a vest with, because I'm not sure, or short-sleeved vest, because I do not think I have enough for a long-sleeved piece. But anyway, Rebel is absolutely a perfect construction, and Strict's patterns are no-brainers. I mean, I've knit only 2 of her patterns, but no guessing around, everything is worded out, no problem whatsoever. And I absolutely love the feel of it, the way it wears. I did knit it a bit longer than her shorter version, but way shorter than her longer version. My sits about, below my hips, where I feel comfortable, and it's the absolute perfect piece. Madeleine sweater is a short-sleeved sweater, and I can wear Nutiden on my bare skin, on my arms, no problem. Whenever the sun is out and I'm behind a big window here, I may take it out because it may get a bit too warm. But when I was eating, the sun was out. I was tired and I was very cold. So it's a lot of comfort. It's comfortable because it's Nutiden and the way it keeps you warm and everything. It's comfortable because the way the pattern is constructed, that sits on your body, or at least on mine, just perfectly. A cardigan without buttons, sign me up. And it's comfortable because it's a happy color. IRR is it's a raspberry type of red, and the raspberry side is increased by camellia. I just love that. It's a happy color, a very happy color, and wearing it makes me so happy. And I do hope that you do have some pieces like that in your wardrobe. And if you are feeling a bit down, no problem if it's a bit too warm, a bit too cold. Wear the pieces that make you happy. It changes your day, my friends. It changes your day. Okay, I'm being warm again, so I left the Rebel cardigan next to me, but once the sun is gonna go down, I'm gonna be colder again and I will wear it once again. So the way I manage my patterns, cravings, and buying. And why do I do that? When I did set up, I'm sorry, Ramses is on the table and he wants to drink into my glass of water. When I did set up my no buy year, originally at the beginning it was not to buy too much yarn and at least to be thoughtful about the way I buy, with regulations that helped me a lot. The first year was successful. What happened is I defaulted to buying a lot of patterns. Some of them are still in my stash from that period, 3-4 years ago. And I'm quite sad. I did buy all of these patterns and I'm not knitting them. And if I bought them, it's because I liked them in the first place. For example, and these are counter examples of patterns I have in my library from that era that I've knit, Yara. And at the same time, I bought Yara, Lunae, Mar, that I just casted on from Natasha Hornby, couple sweaters, stuff like that. From Rachel Hisley, I bought many sweaters and patterns. I will cast on Petrichor next, when I get the yarn to match with what my son brought me. But I'm not sure how many sweater patterns, a hat, and all of the patterns I bought at that moment were that way. This designer is having a birthday. This designer is having a sale for whichever reason. And I'm going to buy everything that I like from this designer because I want to support them. That's a good idea. Yes, you can always say, I want to buy from someone to support them. Good. But what kind of support is it if all of what you buy remains in your library, in your queue, or somewhere you end up forgetting about these patterns? And that was my problem. First problem. Second problem, which is not a problem, once again, because as I said, for buying yarn, I'm not spending money I do not have. That year, I did spend 250 euros on online patterns, and maybe with books, I'm not sure I recall. But that's too much. Am I able to knit all of these patterns in a year? No. Have I knit any more of a couple of them since then? No. What use is that? Maybe we are supporting the designers, but if it is to clutter our library and to have patterns that sit there, he's going for my glass. He has water, all the water he wants. If it is cluttering my library, my online library, my Ravelry library, my computer space, even if PDFs are quite small and things like that, how useful is that? I do accumulate. I accumulate patterns, yarn, too many calories, etc., etc. And when I did buy all of these patterns, it was, to compensate for, a bit, for not buying yarn. Is that a healthy way of buying patterns, not for me. Maybe it is to you, but it was not for me. So I said, okay, I need a plan and I need to come up with something to help me out with that. So I had a regulation, not at the beginning. Right now, I do try to not buy more than 5 books a year, even though there is no such thing as too many books. So I'm way below the threshold of 5 books this year. If I was going to go close to that threshold, maybe I would have to think about it. But I haven't bought 5 books this year. But I was, buying and buying books that are very beautiful, that I love, but I'm not knitting from them. My second regulation or idea was to buy patterns only when I am ready to cast them on the same day or the next day if I want to prepare and organize and everything. And this has worked beautifully because as I am thinking, I'm buying the pattern. Anytime I want to cast on, I don't have that urge to get this and that and this and that. But I do need a pattern management system to be able to recall all of these beautiful things I see, and I don't want them to go at the bottom of my Ravelry library where I would not be aware of them any longer. So to do that, I use bundles on Ravelry. That helps me a lot because I do not buy any online patterns unless I am ready to cast on. I've never bought a kit and I would be ready to buy a kit with a pattern. No problem. Yarn with a pattern, at a festival booth or something, no problem. But I haven't done that. But I have not bought any online pattern that I was not ready to cast on the next day. And I'm not preventing myself from doing this. If I want to cast on a pattern, the Coyote hat by Natasha Hornby that I want to be casting on. Do I have many beautiful patterns in my library? Yes. Do I want to knit the Two Sisters or Mountain Sisters? The South Sisters. Not the Mountain Sisters, not the Two Sisters, the South Sisters. I think I checked what this was. I think it's a mountain, but I'm not sure. Anyway, by Liz Smith, that I want to knit with the yarn that my son brought me from Ireland. And Coyote is going on top of that with that new yarn. 2 hats on my upcoming project, plus the Hyper knitting hat for my son's music teacher. I need more time. I need more time in my day to be able to cope with that. But thing is, I just went to my Ravelry library. If I select only the patterns I have in my library, 3,517 patterns. A lot of them are from books that have all of the patterns in Ravelry. A lot of them are free patterns or free patterns for a limited time that I get. And a lot of them I bought. 3,517 patterns. If I was to stop buying anything from now on, I'm sure I have enough patterns for the rest of my life. So I need a management system because if I want not to buy everything that I like, not to buy anything that a designer has a 20% or 30% or 50% offer on, I need some way to retrieve the patterns that I like and for not them to go out of sight, out of heart, out of mind and forget about them and I would be sad and everything. So that's the way I manage to do that is I have bundles on Ravelry. And I have a bundle for what I wanted to buy 2 or 3 years ago when I started, and one for every year. I have not really revisited any of these. Sometimes I've taken out patterns, sometimes I carry over patterns from one year to the other. Rebel and Dazzler were such an example. And I have one for this year. The second way it helps me out is that even though I don't buy the pattern, when I place it in a bundle, I know I can retrieve it. And I know if I want to buy it and eat it, I can. Because I was buying patterns to place them in my queue and not forget about them. Placing them in the bundle fulfills that need. And sometimes, and I have not done that since the beginning of the year, but sometimes when I revisit my want to buy pattern list for that year, or maybe for the year before, or the previous years, I see patterns that are there and I'm thinking, why did I place them there a month, 2 months, 6 months down the road? I have no interest into them. If I had bought them, I would be very uncomfortable because I would be left with patterns I don't have any interest into several months down the line, money that I would have spent. And that doesn't mean they are not interesting. That just means that on the spot, I had this craving for that pattern. I placed it there. I had it, the idea were out through time, 1 month, 1 week, several months. And down the line, I do keep only things that I love. So, and that I really want to cast on. So I think I need to be ruthless. And I'm going to link my bundle down below. I think I need to be completely ruthless because my current want to buy bundle for this year has 49 patterns. That's a bit too much. So for the year 2023, I have 48. For the year 2024, I have 47, 49. And from the year 2024, I did carry over patterns from the year 2023. And I'm not sure, I do not recall if I did that for 2025. I think I did. But the other way, the new way I introduced also placing patterns in bundles was to recall of searches for projects with specific yarns. And maybe I will just go over, if you're interested, and link them down below so that you can have a look about, at what I was interested. And these are, so the first ones are want to make with a year. So it's the W. It's at the end of the it's at the end of the bundle. These ones are temp with something. So only vests are below that in the alphabetical order. And I have one temp for color work because I want to need some kind of color work. I have a second one for color work of DK yarn. I have one for fitted socks that do not have color work because my misadventures with color work socks. I have one for Nutiden and Manchelopis. I have one for Sam who asked something, but I think I've done, so I think I can remove that one. I have one for, this is going to be awfully specific, stripes with saddle shoulders. You know I love saddle shoulders and I want to do micro stripes, so I have patterns there. I have some for the summer knits for 2025 with summer yarn. I'm not sure if I'm gonna remove it or not because that can be carried over for the next year. And I have some temp patterns that I've placed there to knit the Ulysses by Guerrerum Natura yarn that I have reclaimed from my half and half. I have a blue and a green, an emerald green, but dyed on gray yarn, so a bit dimmed out colors, but they are very beautiful and I want to use them, so I made a bundle for that. At one time, when I was thinking about this kind of specific project, so I did do a search on Ravelry, and when sometimes I see new patterns that could fit into that, if I think of them, I place them in the bundle. So that helps me also manage not buying right away patterns just for a specific project. Have I casted on Nutiden and Mantelopes? Yes, but I still have some more to cast on, so it's still there. The two colorwork patterns I have not got to that. So one is 20 items and the other one is 5. So 25 patterns. The fitted socks without colorworks, I have 4 patterns in there. So I will get into that at some point. The one for Samuel, my eldest son, I'm going to be looking into it, what this is all about. The stripes and saddle shoulders, I have 4 patterns. The Summer Knits 2025, I have 34 patterns. Ulysses, I have just 1, and my Want to Make 2025, I have 49. So you see, this is my own way to deal with my patterns cravings, and I'm going to be a bit more specific now regarding my bundles, but it helps me tremendously, immensely, and not to buy anything, and sometimes realizing, but if I could do that for food or something, that would be perfect. If you don't eat it right now, the craving will go away. If I don't buy it right now, the craving will go away. Sometimes it takes a couple of weeks, but I can't stay a couple of weeks without eating, right? So it's a whole different thing, but it's the same idea. So let's get to at least my want to buy list for 2025. So I am going to turn to a screen recording so that I can at least record all of my process about weeding out the patterns that I don't want them to remain into my lists. Will I upload everything? I'm not sure because it may be too tedious, but at least I will record everything and I will see what I keep. Here you see my temp colorwork Ravelry bundle for items that are not DK, I guess, and for DK items. So I have 20 and 5. The socks, the fitted socks without colorwork, the Mantelopes and Nutiden for Samuel, for little stripes with saddle shoulders, summer knits for Ulysses. So the vest is another bundle that has nothing to do with that, and the Want to Make 2025. So I'm going to go to the Want to Make 2025, which is the one that is the most deeply related to my project. So my Want to Make 2025 bundle, where I have patterns that I have accumulated since the beginning of the year, and I need to see if I want to keep them on or not. I already see some that I really want to keep. The Cayenne hat by Natasha Hornby. I will cast it on so this stays here. The Jaunty by Andrea Mori. I love the idea. I've talked about it already when I saw it. I love the idea. I love the fisherman rib. I love the idea of the pattern that she offers to give you instructions for different yarn, different gauges, different yarn weights. And also two patterns that are here because I do love something that are vertical type of motifs in a yoke. So this is just perfect. I know these ones are going to stay. These are the ones that I've added at the beginning of the year. Kura socks will be able to remain or not, but at least I did cast that on, and it was also a carryover from last year, so that's good. Mara by Audrey Borrego. This is a free pattern that also you can have in your library. It's kind of these little scarves that you can knit, and I need to start to record again because I don't like the way the screen is recording right now. These little scarves that you can knit with a little motif on the scarf, eyelets, simple things. It's a wine skin, if I recall correctly. Yes, 240 to 400 meters, so half a skin to a full skin. These patterns are very nice to have in your Ravelry because when you have half a skin or a full skin of fingering, it's just perfect. And I want to keep it there, not to forget about it, and I still like it, so just good, and it's gonna stay there. So next to Mara are the Droid socks. Once again, maybe I should move that one to the kind of socks that are fitted without color work. Yes, they are. So I'm just going to be moving it there. Here, and removing from my want to make, so that it's going to be decluttering that section. I'm going to just leave the Kura socks there. For token, another small scarf type of project. Decay, not sure I want to be knitting small scarves in decay. I'm just going to remove it, and I guess it's in my scarf bundle, so it's going to be saved there. I kind of second guess myself on that one, and I'm just going to be leaving it there. Masha Called by Barbara Zvachak. I also have it in my library. This is a pattern, it's a pet faux pattern, but so I guess there was a limited time offer. I have so many calls. I have one that I want to be making soon. The Yujo color. I have other ones. I'm gonna remove it from my want to make. It's in my call bundle anyway, so be it. The Portland hoodie call, same thing. This is a kind of a hoodie or kind of a balaclava. I have many patterns for that I want to be making. What I liked about that pattern, maybe I'm going to keep it, it's the two colors. I like this idea, having the hoodie part on a different color than the coal part. Why not? I'm gonna keep it for now, and here you have it all in one color. I'm not sure what I want to make. Do I like the pattern? No, I'm gonna remove it. It's still in my, in my bundle for hats and stuff like that. So if I want to get back to it, I will do. The Damask socks by Amanda Morse. I will also have it in my library. It's a fitted pattern without any color work. So I'm gonna remove it from I want to make, and I'm gonna move it to this specific bundle for my socks. So Vabeline, I need. So you see, that's one that worked. Dazzler, I need. Same thing, it worked. So the clam being higher, I do have it from my library. I'm gonna move it to the sock bundle because once again, same reasoning. I've made one just for that, so I better use it. I may just cut something. Cinnamon twists from the same Lane magazine as the socks and the climbing higher socks, the Dazzler. I'm gonna keep it here because I want to make it. Cora by Pablo Aineros is a free pattern. Is that a free pattern? No, it's also in the Lane magazine. I placed it there because it's a vest or slipover with some kind of texture and little ties on the side that I like. So textures, I think it's cables. Yes, cables. I have yarn for that. Is that the proper yarn? I guess so. Which yarn is it calling for? 3 and 4 millimeter needles. Alternative yarn maybe. Sports weight. Yes, I guess I have yarn for that, and this is why I placed it there. So I'm just going to keep it. I think the whole issue, the whole Lane magazine issue, this issue where Dazzler is in the front page is I want to knit everything. So Snowfield, same thing. These big cables, these shoulders that are, kind of saddle, not dropped shoulders. I really love that with the big cables. So I'm keeping it there. It's not high on my list. Do I have yarn for that? Did I place it here? Also, Unfold, I'm going to keep 2 because I know I know which yarn I want to be using. I need to swatch for Unfold because this big color, but I do not mind the big color folds a bit because my yarn may be less able to hold on itself than the one from the pattern, but I like the rest, so I may keep it that way here just for that. The other sweaters, I'm gonna remove all of them. I'm gonna remove, not just for my want to make, maybe not Muscle, that is from the Isayer book that I bought this year. I'm gonna remove the other ones. I'm not sure I'm gonna make them anytime soon. And 2025, we are almost at the end of the year, so I have no time to need any of that until the end of the year. But I want to keep Muscle because this is one of the patterns I did go for the first time around when I got the book and read into the pattern. So this one I'm going to keep. Not sure I have yarn for it, but this one I'm going to keep in my want to make so that I don't forget about it. Reflection, I'm not sure. I will keep it in here because this is from the Contrasts book by Mayo Callio. I think she's called that like this for now. Now. There is texture in the front, and I really love that, but I'm not sure which kind of sleeves these are, and I kind of think it's drop shoulders. No, it's not. It's in the round. I love the texture in the front. I do have yarn for that. It calls for sports weight. So I do have yarn for that. Ulysses could work for that. So my green Ulysses could work for that. So I'm going to keep it here because I think that is why I placed it here in the first place. Carousel, I'm going to remove because I'm not sure. And Parker, I'm going to remove too because I'm not sure I want to make that. Unique, random scatter, same. I'm going to remove just at a glance. I'm going to look into the other ones. Is Fuji or is Fugel? Is Fugel. I love the sleeves. This is what appealed to me in the first place. I love the borders. The borders on the collar, I would think it's the same border on the at the bottom of the sweater, I would assume, yes. Not sure I want winter yarn with a summer pattern, but maybe I can achieve to knit that with a more summery yarn. So I'm gonna move that one to my summer bundle. Because it is more appropriate. At the beginning of the year, when I started the bundle for my want to make list, I had not started any of these additional bundles. Same thing for Sinatra by Audrey Borrego. I'm going to move it to the summer bundle. Next, we have a shawl. I'm not sure I recall. These are Audrey Borrego's knits. Not sure I recall why I made Verdier and Letty into there. I'm going to remove them. Kloska. Kloska is more interesting. It's that kind of little top with little ties in the front. I like the idea. I at the body shape where I can wear that right now? I don't think so. I mean, no shame to anyone who does if they have, a bigger figure. For now, I don't feel comfortable in that type of shape. I can always retrieve it at some point. I'm going to remove it. The mittens, not sure why I placed them here. There are 3, maybe because of the pattern at the top of the mitten and the little type of motif at the wrists. But I don't think I want mittens. And there are mittens you can open. I don't like that, but I think I liked this effect. So I would, in any case, if I was to be knitting that, I would knit fingerless mitts. I think I'm going to keep them because I like the motif. I like the motif, and I could just stop for fingerless mitts. I'm going to keep them for now because I think even now I like the motif. Carta. Carta by Issue Lyric Tay. It's some kind of a vest that looks like a sleeveless cardigan to me. I think I like it a lot. This pattern, when was it published? It was published in January 2025. I did not buy it yet. I haven't bought it yet. And I like the motif. I like the idea of the way you close this kind of vest. I like it. I still like it, and I'm sure I am able to make it. Will I make it? I'm not sure. Do I want to make it? I'm not sure, but I want to keep it at the top of my mind, or at least in that list. So it's with worsted weight yarn. I'm going to keep it there. How many rows? Some of them 4 rows. I hope it's not going to be too long. The D1 jumper, I'm going to remove it because I think it's light lace weight. Yeah, it's a light lace weight. I don't want that kind of sheer. I'm not, much fond of that kind of sheer. Is that in the t-shirt? Yeah, it's in my t-shirt bundle. I'm not going to keep it. Barley Field and cardigan and Barley Field slipover. Both of them by Jojo Knitwear. I love the pattern. I love the little motifs. I love this idea. I love the cardigan, the effect. These are raglan sleeves, good for me, or not really raglan, but it's not drop shoulders. And I like that. It's a free pattern that is in the hobby designs bundles, free bundles, and it's bulky weight, but I guess I can make it work with something else because I'm not sure I want to knit it with bulky. The vest also, I could knit a bulky vest with the same type of motif. I like very much, so I'm gonna keep both of them. Both of them are free, and I'm gonna keep both of them in this bundle because I want to remember about them. Coromuel, I would say. I have it. It's in Making Stories. I have it in my library. It's a raglan, shorter sleeves with a nice detail on the side. Yeah, I like that. Which kind of yarn? Fingering weight. I do have that. Yeah, I like the detail on the side here, in the back, in the front. I like when the raglan lines are outlined with some kind of a stitch motif or cable or something, and it continues on the side. I like that very much. I think it shows better on a lighter colored yarn than on a darker colored yarn. And I'm gonna keep it because I had forgotten about it and I like it. Lucienne. Lucienne is also in by Audrey Borrego. It's in a Len magazine issue. Sports weight yarn, and same thing, a little sweater, a really darling little sweater. Also, you see, I guess I was noticing some kind of outline for the raglan lines, and I like that. So, and also you see the raglan that go down to the sides, same idea as the previous one. I'm keeping both of them. The Primavera top, not sure I'm gonna keep because I already made a top that I can wear one side or the other, and I omitted the lace. So not sure I want to have such a top with lace, and I think I was keeping that with the idea to make a top with the Isayer Marilyn. So this has fulfilled its own purpose. Two shawls, one by Stephen West, the other one by Catherine Schneider. I do not own the first one or the second one. I do not own any of these two ones. I love both of them. Look at this beautiful lace effect on this shawl, even though that's not the shape I prefer. I absolutely love the effect of these lines on the shawl. I love the lace. I'm sure it's not going to be a mindless project. And you need DK weight. I'm not sure I would need with DK, really. But I would most probably need that with fingering weight because maybe DK is going to be a bit too stiff for me. DK and 4mm needles. I'd rather knit with fingering with maybe 3 or 3.5mm needles. So, but I absolutely love the shape of this shawl and the effect. And same thing for Mingling Daisies by Stephen West. I like the lines here, the texture effects. I like everything. I like the shape. It fits me much better than the other one. I may prefer to do this one. I don't own any of them. And I really like all of this texture. It's with fingering weight. So I'm being ruthless. I'm just gonna keep the Stephen West shawl that I much prefer. So how many other examples are there? Just his, yes, I guess just his. This shawl I had totally forgotten about. When I see it, I really want to make it. So I need to go back to my bundle to be able to to make that shawl again, but yes, I really want to make it. The Yara sweater. I don't own it, by Maylin Borgensen Mangleber. I'm really sorry to be butchering your name. Sportsweight yarn. I love the back line. I love this line, and it's kind of, Rebel is not made the same way, because Rebel you start in the middle of the back, at the middle of the back, but it's kind of the same idea, and I really like that. I like these lines on the shoulder, not really regular lines, but kind of shoulder and arm lines. And I absolutely love this pattern. Sports weight, I have many sports weight yarn. I'm gonna keep that. And that's one again that I had completely forgotten about. You're gonna tell me, just go through your list. Yes. Another one that I do not have in my library, Marielle, or in my, I do not own. Marielle Blouse by Maria Schrei Morgenstad. Not sure I want to knit that again. At some point I was looking for that type of pattern with a lot of lace. No, I would not need that now. So I'm going to remove it from the bundle. Misa Sleepover by Jessica MacDonald. I own the pattern. I think she had an offer or something. I did not buy it. I did not pay for it. And what I like is the front that is way shorter than the back. That's one thing I like. I like when the shoulders are covered, not real drop shoulders because you have no sleeves, but kind of a drop shoulder that goes beyond just the tip of the shoulder, and that gives you a bit of warmth at the top of your arms. Are you cold from the top of your arms? I usually am. And kind of a turtleneck that I love. I love the overall look of it. I like the idea of it. I'm going to keep that in the bundle. And worsted weight, I guess I can make it work, of course, with worsted weight. Also with other yarn that are not labeled as worsted in my stash. The two-color brioche hat. Yes, I like it. Do I want to keep it there? Not sure. Do I want to make a brioche hat? Maybe I had a craving at some point, but not any longer. I don't have brioche hats craving. Kioni, I'm keeping it there because I'm gonna make it. The iPhone pouch, I'm thinking about making one. I'm gonna just keep the pattern in there. It's by Duke of Nico. It's a free Ravelry pattern. I did not even add it to download it and add it to my library. I will do that. And do I buy a proper, case for my phone with a proper kind of belt to wear it? Or do I make one? I think I want to make one. But anyway, it would be much longer than that. I just kept this pattern here to go with the idea. This is a free pattern, you can download it. I liked, it's a double knit, it's a bit like, at some point when I saw the pattern, I was thinking, I want to make a water bottle type of case for, the same idea for my phone. And this pattern I came across September 2025. You see, I did not add it that long ago, but that's the idea. It's a quick project that I can do and I will do. Jaunty, I said already, I kept. I'm gonna move these socks just for the record, because if you are interested, it's a free pattern by Go check, it's Posey socks. Once again, I think it's textured sock that will be fitted, but no color work, so that's good. So I'm going to talk about these two patterns at the same time, because once again, what I love is like the sorrel, that type of radiant yoke where you have a pattern that either goes down as lines in the front that go bigger and bigger with a stitch motif, not a color work. So there is the Neige sweater by Onol Knit. I do not own it. It's a pet faux pattern. Which type of yarn? DK, fingering and lace. But I guess I can find a way to do that. And I really love the lace that you have here. And you see it goes from smaller to bigger. It radiates in the yoke. I think I like the other one better. And with a lace that doesn't look very difficult to me. Short sleeves, and it's like my Madeleine sweater. I will knit it with long sleeves, for sure. And once again, Madeleine sweater. Yeah, I forgot about that, and I'm wearing it right now. There is also that kind of raise in the yoke that I really love. Reminds me a bit of the Madeleine sweater. Same type of idea for the sleeve, other than Madeleine is with moss stitch, I think. No, Madeleine is with garter stitch at the bottom of the sleeves and the bottom of the sweater, and this one is moss stitch, but same kind of idea. And I think I like this one even better. This is a newer pattern too. It's Eternal Sunshine Sweater by Elise Bonal. And this I love. Can we have a better idea? Yes, this I love. I love the way these cables radiate from the collar, and the cables go from the collar ribbing to the cable, radiate down the yoke to the body, and you have smaller and different cables that are in the middle of these bigger ones. I love the look of this sweater. I would probably make it a bit longer because she has, she has a better figure than me. I would not make it in yellow, and I think it's reverse stockinette. Yeah, it's reverse stockinette all over. But once you are done with the cables, you can turn it inside out and you can knit it that way. And I like, very much when a designer gives you schematics. She gives you a bit of the cables, so that even before you buy the sweater, if you have a pattern that you can use and place the cables, fine. If I'm making that, I'm going to buy it. My way of supporting a creator is to buy rather than reinterpret. Same for jaunty. I mean, I could knit jaunty on my own. I want to acknowledge that Andrea Mori, or the creator of the Neige sweater, not the Neige, the Eternal Sunshine sweater, have had the idea that seduced me, but I did not come up with the idea myself. So if I am making these patterns, I am going to buy them. A new sweater, and I see there is a second page. A new sweater, I also like. I may keep. Do I want to make it right now? No, but I will keep it to make it at some point. I like the idea of a ribbing that is a cable. I've never done that. I don't think it's going to be difficult. But once again, cable on the raglan, cable on the sleeves, of the sleeve cuff, and cables at the bottom of the sweater. And I really do like that. Do you see the raglan line goes back on the side? Do we have a better view? And here you have a big cable of cables. I like it. I like it a lot. Do we see it here? Yes, I'm sure it goes under her arms. Yes, you can see it. It goes from the raglan line to the sides. The front is shorter than the back, lots of ease and worsted weight, sports and lace. So I guess, like Ulysse with some kind of a fluff or something like that. I love the pattern and I'm sure I'm gonna make it at some point. I'm gonna keep it there, and I'm just seeing also cable in the color. This is a keeper and I am going to keep it even if I'm not making it right now. The vest, wrap vest by Elizabeth Judith Linger wrap. Once again, I love the idea. Do I have the figure right now? For this one, I guess the tie is a bit higher on the side. I have to see if she describes, or if you can see in other patterns, how it is made on the inside. Is it attached? Do you have another wrap somewhere? I'm not sure. I will have to see. I'm on the fence for that one, but for now I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna go try to see, because I've removed so many, I may not have a second page. No, I don't have a second page, but I need to reload the page, I guess, to see everything that was below what I've already talked. Oh, there was just one. Linus Shawl by Annette Cordes. I do have it in my library. It's available for free. Why did I? Oh yes, I know why I did place that shawl here. It's because it's a smaller shawl, but you see it's not straight at the top. You have a curvature at the top, a little pointy side. But I think this kind of shape of elongated triangle with a shape around the neck part is going to be sitting on the neck very well. Do we have other examples of the open shawl? Maybe here. You see, it's not a straight line. And this is what I liked a lot. And this is why I had that shawl. I'm going to keep that shawl here. It's fingering weight. How much yarn does it require? 411 meters, a bit over a skein, depending on, the weight of the yarn you are using, around the skin, and maybe a little bit over than that. People are using, color work and placing some kind of eyelets in there. Not sure I would do that, or maybe a self-changing yarn, but I'm gonna keep it there because I like the idea of this deeper part on the neckline with a small pointy end. So if I summarize, do I have any idea of the numbers of patterns I've kept? I've been ruthless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 27 patterns. I'm not sure I recall how many there were before. You've just seen it. I just forgot about it. Perfect. And some of them I've already made. I've already made 3 of them. So you see, this bundle is very helpful, and it's helping me keeping my patterns craving in check. And now I also have some other specific bundles that are just for projects that I am sure I want to get to. Okay, I'm wearing my Rebel cardigan again because the sun went away. It is 5:30 in the afternoon. I think I started altogether to record. It was 11 o'clock this morning. Then I stopped to have some kind of a lunch break, and I did sit down and eat for a bit. With my coffee, I need to stop. I'm very tired, and a friend of mine just called and she's gonna stop by in 15 minutes. So to summarize all of that, I think I made a very long recording for my Want to Make bundle. I'm not sure I'm going to keep everything. I'll see if it's consistent, if I cut out some parts. If not, as always, I have timestamps on the videos. So if there is something that you're not interested into, you just can skip it. But anyway, this way of handling my patterns and the ones I want to make is really helpful. Not to buy anything in the heat of the moment, and maybe, as you may have seen during the recording, without things that either I don't recall why I placed there, or now that I have some other specific bundles for specific projects, well, not place them as general want to buy. And if I want to make, for example, a fitted sock without color work, I just go into that bundle and maybe search my library at the same time, but maybe go into that bundle, and if there is something that I really like, just make it. So it's really helping me keeping in check of my expenses for online patterns. As I said, there is no such things as too many books. I haven't bought many. I'm always keeping an eye open for new books, and I'm not sure I've seen anything that I was really that interested into getting. So, well, maybe that's the way it is, and maybe, this year creators published fewer books that I was interested in, or one way also I think when I see something is, do I have something equivalent in my library? Most of the time it's yes. And maybe it's also why I haven't bought any book or not many books this year, because nothing has really jumped at me the way that the Lane magazine with the Dazzler sweater on cover, I think it's issue 23 from last year, the way this one jumped at me, and I was thinking I want it right now because I can knit everything, and I'm very happy I have it in my library. I haven't seen anything that gave me the same impression. So for books, that's the way it is. I haven't looked at, I will write it on the screen, how much money I spent on patterns themselves. Not much. Just online patterns, maybe a few, not much. So I'm very happy with that, and I hope that maybe this type of reasoning and organization can help you out. So there you have it, my friends. My little project, 2 videos because I'm too tired, I'm too slow, I'm not organized well enough so that I can manage to do everything into a video that lasts less than an hour or about an hour. So be it, 2 videos for this project, but I think I really needed to go through my patterns and my bundles because I had not done it since the beginning of the year. So I hope that this video will help you, that you will like it, that it's going to be helpful to you. Maybe you can tell me down below how you manage to organize your patterns, to organize your spendings regarding digital patterns, for example. And if you have other ideas of patterns or books, considering what I have said, and maybe you are thinking, oh, but there is that one that she's not talked about, maybe she's not seen it and she would be interested into it. So we can all help us out in the discussion down below. In the meantime, I hope you manage to be well and shield yourself from the outside craziness of the world, that your knitting is bringing you joy and happiness, that your future projects and projecting into future projects is giving you joy and happiness, and that you manage not to spend too much money, if this is your thing. If this is your thing to live in a yarn store and have a library that is really full and you can just pick from here and there whenever you need something good. I have the tendency to be always interested by the new, and forget what I have. This is why I have developed this little project. And in the meantime, I thank you a lot for being here with me. You are the reason why I'm making these videos. You are the reason why I'm having this project, because if I was not making the videos, I would never have undertaken such kind of a big project, that kind of, roots deep into my bad habits. And it's a good thing, I think. Every time you do are aware of, whatever part of your behaviors are not that good for you, it's always better. So in the meantime, I hope this video will find you well and happy, that your knitting is bringing you joy and happiness, that your projects are not stressing you out, and I will see you next time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. Okay, my mind va my okay. And okay, first things first is to be project, and I need to stop that and do it again because it doesn't work. Videos I would never have under